Well, hello there, fellow geeks and geekettes, and welcome to yet another review video. Now, this review is going to be quite special, because I don't do modern comic book review videos for two reasons. Let me tell you the reasons. The first one is the fact that modern comics are not good. As I said many times on this channel, there are only about 2 good comics published these days a year. And I just don't consider it worth it to do a video about a comic book that I would just bitch about for 7 to 15 minutes. It would make me angry all over and over again. And I'm not here to complain. I'm here to recommend good literature. I'm here to entertain. I'm here to spread the joy and spread love for comics. And that's why I'm not really interested in talking, bad things about comic books. But that's only the secondary reason. The primary reason is that I come from the Czech Republic, which is a little country in the heart of Europe, and we do not have comic book stores here, which means that we do not get the comic book issues every Wednesday or every Tuesday and Wednesday as it is nowadays, which of course might change in the United States of America and in Britain as well very soon, since DC Comics is, driving towards something very bad. Well, never mind. So that's why I haven't been making any modern comic books. I've mainly and only really been talking about the good old comics. Now, but yesterday I read a comic book that I was so excited about that I told myself I have to make a review about that. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the physical copy here. For that same reason I mentioned a couple of seconds ago, I don't have any comic book store in my vicinity. That is why I have to buy the comics digitally. I've got to buy the comics, I've got to go to the sites that sell them, the official sites, and buy the digital files. Now, for this one single review that I'm going to make for this one single comic book, I'm not going to set up, some sort of technical things to just show you just a couple of pages, because I would only show you a couple of pages to avoid copyright strike. So if you're interested in in seeing the art, look it up on the internet or look at your own copy if you've got it, because after all, comic books are 50-50 pictures and text. So yeah, that's why I consider it important for a reviewer to have a copy or a digital file to show on the video when the reviewer is reviewing a comic book. But for this one this one review, I just I didn't think it was necessary. Now, the comic book in question that I'm talking about here is The Three Jokers, issue 1, written by Geoff Johns and illustrated by Jason Fabok. Now, man, listen, I haven't read a Batman comic book that good in years. Quite honestly, last time I was so excited about a Batman comic book was when I read the Batman White Knight by Sean Gordon Murphy, or actually Batman Damned by Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo. So as I said, there's only like 1 or 2 good comics a year, so that's the one, I believe. It's already August, so this year's covered basically. Now, what is about really, the Batman and the Three Jokers? Now, I don't know if it is a part of the official mainstream DC Comics continuity, but it basically revolves around the fact that there are 3 Jokers in the DC multiverse, or DC universe, the main DC universe. These 3 Jokers are depicted in the comic book in the way that one Joker is the one that crippled Barbara Gordon, or later Oracle, or Batgirl, obviously. The other Joker is the one who killed Jason Todd, And the third one, his identity is yet to be revealed, but I think he reminds me of the Joker as drawn and written by, Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermejo. So that's like the Joker from their own universe. The Joker from the Joker graphic novel by these two guys, and from Batman Damned. Now, the story also involves Barbara Gordon and Jason Todd. Now, the story begins with the GCPD, the Gotham City Police Department, including Commissioner Gordon and Harvey Bullock, finding some bodies, dead bodies that were transformed by the Joker gas into, these grinning corpses. Now, there are two other cases of murder, and in each of these three cases, there are witnesses that were saying that this particular crime, this particular murder was done by the Joker. And these three murders happened at the same time. One of the murders was, I think that the Joker killed one of some members of a mob family, mafia family. The other murder was that one that I mentioned already, the dead people transformed into like grinning Joker corpses, and then there was another case of murders. I don't remember who that was now. Not important. So Batman arrives at the scene where Harvey Bullock and Commissioner Gordon are, and he investigates. And then we, jump between Bruce Wayne or Batman, Barbara Gordon, and Jason Todd, who of course is Red Hood right now. So they are trying to, solve these crimes, and they have this theory that there are actually three Jokers, and that those three Jokers might be, all like the genuine Joker, or the two of them might be imposters. Now we jump to the actual three Jokers who meet at a cabin in the woods, and they are talking, and they decide that the time has come to create another Joker. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? Jeff Johns, he is a very good writer, but this particular story really reminds me a little bit of Grant Morrison-y writing, or Scott Snyder-y writing, because it is very complex, but I like it. And not only is it very well written, and that the story is very interesting and grasping and goes into depth and also explores the psychological questions and the psychological problems that are revolving around the crippling of Barbara Gordon and of the murder of Jason Todd, who is very angry about that and does something to one of the Jokers that will shock a lot of people. I do not want to spoil it. But also the comic book is packed and full of action, and that's what I like about my comics. I like to read good literature that makes you think, but at the same time I think that the mainstream superhero comic books should contain, each and every issue should contain at least a little bit of action, because it's comics, it should be fun. So that's why. Now, two more things that I liked about the comic book, especially, besides many other things, are the fact that Batman isn't being cucked in this comic book. Batman isn't being transformed into a whiny little idiot who can't fight for himself, who can't take care of himself, and who is always bitched around by characters like Batwoman or Batgirl or Catwoman. No, he is the Batman, the genuine Batman that we are used to from the, almost or over 80 years history of the publication of Batman. Now, of course, that story, as I said, it involves two other members of the Bat family, but that it does not mean that Batman is being put aside. No, it's not the same as it has been in the Detective Comics for a long time now. No, they are equally important, those three characters, especially in this story. There are a lot of references to the Killing Joke, obviously, Alan Moore's Killing Joke. One of the Jokers being the one that crippled Barbara Gordon. The other one, or there are many references to A Death in the Family. Of course, that being the comic in which Jason Todd was killed. Also, what is quite interesting is the not only like textual references to the Killing Joke, but also visual references to the Killing Joke. The comic book basically starts with the grid, with the 9-panel grid that Killing Joke is very famous for, and Alan Moore is very famous for, right? Just remember Watchmen and Killing Joke and so on and so forth. So that I liked, especially you can see the bat costume that Batman wore in the Killing Joke, in the contemporary Batcave in the Three Jokers, as well as you can see Batgirl's costume and Jason Todd's costume when he was still Robin. So that I like that a lot. And the other thing that I like especially was, and I have already hinted on that, is the art. Jason Fabok is a magnificent artist. He is a magnificent penciler, and he brings into the comic book that feeling of the classic good old Batman. And there was an instance in the comic book, look it up if you've got the copy, be digital or paper copy, where Batman looks like the Batman from 1989 movie, or Michael Keaton Batman. His suit looks like that a bit. It's not completely black, you know, this part under the cape is grey, but he's got the round bat symbol with the notoriously famous Batman logo, but the cape is made into that very same style as he had in the 1989 Batman. Also, his ears are shorter than in the 89 film, but there is one panel where Batman is hidden in the shadows and the silhouette of Batman being all black, just the logo being seen, looks exactly the same as Michael Keaton's Batman from 1989, and I very much like the homage to, the first, if we do not take Adam West into consideration, to the first motion picture containing Batman. You know? So that's what I liked a lot. Also, I try to separate the author from the art. I try not to think about the authors, be it the writer or the penciler, the author's politics or opinions, philosophy, when I read a comic. And that's what I did, and that's what I do. But I do know things about Geoff Johns and Jason Fabok that, of course, they are not secret. Everybody knows that. And that's they are normal people, right? They are not SJWs. They are not extremely left-leaning twats that would bitch about everything on Twitter all day. It's quite the opposite. I think that, I'm quite sure a couple of days ago I listened to a a live stream by Ethan Van Sciver, and he talked very nicely about Jason Fabok, and that he was actually not a leftist. Yeah, that he wasn't a left-leaning penciler. And I have to say, you can see that. You don't even have to look up the authors to know that they are not, or they are leftist, because the author's philosophy and politics are always mirrored and represented in their work of art, especially these days, and especially it's the leftists who do that. So, yeah. But going back to, the comic book, obviously, everything being put together, to sum it up, I love the Three Jokers issue 1 that came out yesterday or 2 days ago, because it's got an original story, it's got a mystery. Three Jokers, who the fuck are they? I love that. It's got mystery. There should be mystery in Batman. It's got the detective aspect of Batman. It's got the action part of a comic book containing Batman. It's got beautiful art. It's got good writing, good dialogue, interesting and intriguing characters, the good old classic style Batman characters. A classic Batman, classic Batgirl, classic Jason Todd as Red Hood, and 3 classic Jokers. What else do you want from a comic book? I'm 100% absolutely satisfied with this comic, and I am going to be getting the single issues as well as the collected edition when it comes out, just so I can support the creators in these very tough times for DC Comics and everybody involved with DC these days. And I can't wait for issue 2 or 3, or 2 and 3, because I think it's going to be like 3-part miniseries. I think it's published under the Black Label, which, you know, most of the Black Label stuff is good. So, and I only hope they won't fuck up, you know, in the next 2 issues. So that's all from me. I'm sorry for not showing you the artwork, but as I said, this is one of a kind review for me. That's why it's that long, I think. And you know, let me know what you think. Have you read 3 Jokers issue 1? What do you think about all that I've been talking about for the last 16 minutes? Do you share my opinion, or does your opinion differ in any way? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, do not forget to dislike this shitty video if you don't like it, or like this shitty video if you like it for some reason, and subscribe to this unimportant channel of an unimportant geek talking about unimportant things. That will be really all, my friends. See you soon, and bye.